All right. So where are we on this case?
Judge, we were here on January the 18th, and ECL entered pleas of true to some of the allegations in the
Yes, 1,
And-
2, 5.
and some were waived.
Yes. So the only one he pled true to is 1, 2, and 5.
Right. And we were asking the court to place him in the state ISF. And I believe there was some notation by probation that they would like to amend and extend and place him in the state ISF. However, the court had a question about these other waived allegations in the MTR about
Yes.
what the status of those were. And
Yes.
he wanted the status update on that. That's why I believe we're here.
Yes. So what is the status?
Your Honor, so we're asking for the 3 years on the MTR, 3 years in the prison. We are not ready on the drug cases yet. The labs have not come back on those cases yet. We would like to proceed on those when we do get the labs back. Because it is a 4 to 200 possession with intent.
So when are the labs coming back?
I can check with the intake attorney on that, Judge.
Because what I have in my notes is that he pled true. And the state was to obtain the labs at the end of the month. And then the court would make a decision.
And one of the things I think you heard, Your Honor, is that because there's pending cases, he's not presently eligible for the state ISF. So we're kind of in a catch-22.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to recall this. And we'll recall it for February 29th. Will you have the labs by then?
I am not sure, Judge. I'm gonna check with the lab. I'm gonna try and get those expedited, but we're asking for time here, Judge, and
Okay.
these are more serious charges that are pending than the ones that he's on his plan on.
I understand the court's position, but if I were to sentence him to time, he's just going to be sitting at the jail because we have these other pending cases. And I really don't know, defense, I believe you want him to be continued in ISF. I can't intelligently and knowingly make a decision on whether he should be extended, whether he should go to prison until I know what the other cases are. I don't even know the amount of drugs that's being alleged in the other case, if it's intent to deliver or is it regular possession, what the drug is. So once I have that information, I'll be able to make a decision on the motion to revoke.
Yeah, I think that's what you were letting us know back at the last setting as well.
I mean, because not knowing anything, I could say, oh, 3 years.
Right.
Then we'll wait for the other cases. But I don't think anyone wants me to make a decision without having information.
And he's been in custody now over 100 days. So.
All right, so we'll come back on February 29th. Hopefully we'll have the labs. If for some reason, the request for the labs is going to be extended, if they say they're backlogged and it'll be 6 months, then of course, I'll have to make a decision with the information I have.
Yes, ma'am. I'll send an email right now.
All right, is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, so we'll be back on February 29th. All right.
Judge, I've got another case where
Oh, just 1 second. You can have a seat.
Monroe Heard.
Bringing it out.
Oh, they don't have it yet. Okay.
No. All right, then you have.
Oh.
And everyone, the court is recessing at noon, and anybody whose case is not taken care of, you are probably going to be called back on a day that is not convenient for you, not purposely, but the court's docket is the court's docket. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Good. Mr. Heard.
Monroe Heard.
This was a competency case.
Yes.
I think you just wanted status.
All right. Mr. Heard, has the doctor spoken to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Judge, we're set in the magistrate court on February the 14th.
All right. So I'll put this one on February 29th as well. And counsel, when you come on the 29th, just give the court an update.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you back on the 29th. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Wait, Miss Seth, Oh, Michelle also? Besides, yes. Yeah.
But McCray, the fact that you are working out, that tells me, Stephanie, why are you not in the gym working out every day? I know, right?
Well, I have a high intensity interval training class on Wednesdays at 5:30. You're welcome to join us.
Is that 5:30 a.m.?
PM.
Oh, okay. I may join you guys then.
You're welcome.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna do it.
It's only 30 minutes, high intensity interval training, and you'll feel great and you'll be exercised. And
All right, so here's the problem. I don't know why Jason is smiling at that as though I cannot do that. He's chuckling. And you know, the 187,
I'm going to challenge Jason to join us as well.
thank you. And I'm telling you, the 187th, as a group, the 187th collective, we are doing a 5K.
Your Honor, we work out so many cases, we can work out in other ways.
Okay, but yeah, so if you
You
want,
need to be trained for that 5K. And so if you ordered your team here who is working the cases out to come to the.
but here's the thing, this is what we want to do.
Be ready.
We want to do it cold turkey and to see if we can actually survive a zombie apocalypse.
Oh,
You need a baseline just so you can.
Judge, you got to get them trained. Get them trained.
All right, we're gonna train up.
30 at the YMCA Tri-Point Wednesday.
All right, do they play the song YMCA?
We'll get that. We'll get
You gotta
that
dress
song.
up appropriately.
Okay,
Get that song. We'll get that song in the back.
all right, yeah, but yeah, just text me the information.
We'll do that.
All right, who's here on Gilbert Pruitt? No. All right, this is a PSI, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 5231, State of Texas versus Gilbert Pruitt. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state. Your Honor.
defense?
Laura Meadows for defendant.
Are you Gilbert Pruitt?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea on December 4th of no contest. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years, and the prison in the state is opposing your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yeah, I have. Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor. No objection.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes.
All right, who would you call?
Gilbert Pruitt.
All right, Mr. Pruitt, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Gilbert Pruitt.
All right, defense?
Mr. Pruitt, you have applied for probation in this case, correct? Yes, sir. Why do you think you'll be a good candidate for probation?
Well, my time here at Bear County this time around, I mean, I'm 42 years old and it's really getting childish now, you know. I have to grow up and be responsible. And, you know, I'm a granddad now, so I gotta lead by example. I should have done this a long time ago, but, you know, I gotta start somewhere, you know, and since I've been incarcerated, this year here has showed me a lot that I know I can do it, but with help. You know, I've always tried to do it on myself, and obviously it don't turn out right, you know.
Have you, talking about the help, what help do you need, do you believe?
Well, I believe, really any kind of help, yeah, help me out, you know.
Have you ever had substance abuse treatment in a facility? Yeah. Have you had any mental health?
I was when I was on parole at the Center for Healthcare Services, but that was it. That once I finished parole, I couldn't go back, and I didn't exceed help after that. I tried to do it on my own.
So do you think treatment, both substance abuse and mental health treatment would help you?
Oh, I believe it.
Would you be an active participant in those treatment programs?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Now, you have given me quite a few certificates that you've earned at the jail. Can you tell the judge which courses you completed and what you learned in those courses?
Yes, sir. My first certificate would be traumatic stress and resilience 1 and 2. That course there, I graduated that course. It's to all the traumatic events that I've had or people have had, but it's really to like ourselves, you know, because we all have different traumatic experiences,
Mhm.
and I've learned that you know it don't hurt to ask for help when you're in a situation. My second certificate that I achieved is I believe would be maintenance program.
Mhm.
I graduated that, and I was top of my class, and so now and it's good to say, you know, since I graduated that class, that I have Captain Motain, which is a captain in the jail. I'm his trustee there, and I help him in his South Tower area. Um, you know, paint and do the flooring, the tile on the 5th floor, and I help the instructors with the new guys that get nominated to be in that class. I help guide them in learning the tools and everything that's needed. And then I'm in GD class. I graduated art class, and so the teacher there, Miss Bozick, she got it approved to where it was me and some other guy, but the other guy, I don't know where that guy's at now. But the chief approved her to do murals and inspirational quotes
Mhm.
in the jailhouse. And that's up in the air right now until further notice. But I've accomplished a lot, you know, this year that I've been locked up, and it's really wising me up. Like, you know, I know I can do it, but with help, it'll be that much better.
Okay.
Now, if you were to be released on probation at some point, do you have any outlook for a job, for employment?
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, I have my sister, Arabella, and she and her husband have a business in remodeling and leveling houses. And there's also I have a flyer that they say once you get out, I can give them a call and that they'll pay for my schooling and give me like $15 an hour or something like that. And so I really want to go back to school and be a septic engineer, you know, because I mean, it's a dirty job, but
Somebody has to do it. Yeah.
you know, so I'm looking into that, you know, and it can be done, you know. I know I can do it.
And in fact, your sister is here in the courtroom just before you, right?
Oh, yes, sir. She's in the back with my mother and here.
So to reiterate, please tell the judge why you will be successful in probation.
Well, because I have obviously my family that loves me, you know, and they're tired of this evolving door, you know, and it's heartbreaking, like me as the elder, you know, and I'm the only son that I've been going through all this turmoil, but I'm glad that I realize it now and catch it, you know, and then with their support, you know, to help me do that much better. And sometimes it's good to have that kind of discipline from your loved ones. I never used to like, yeah, whatever, you know, back talk my mother and all that, but all along, as I realized, all she was doing was just direct me in the right way. You know,
Okay, pass the witness.
State.
Good morning, Mr. Pruitt. My name is Hank Wilkins. I'm one of the prosecutors here.
Yes, sir.
If I ask anything that you don't understand, just let me know and I'll rephrase it, okay? In 2001, were you placed on probation for aggravated assault against a public servant?
yes, sir.
Okay, were you successful?
I wasn't successful in that because, I was young and I was my young twenties. I believe.
Do you know how long you were on probation before you went into the prison?
No, sir, I don't remember.
But would it be surprising that it was less than a year, less than 6 months? Would that be surprising to you?
Oh, no.
And it might help Diana if we can. Okay, and so in 2009, did you go to prison for felon in possession of a firearm?
Oh, I sure did, sir.
And let's see, and that was also for possession of a controlled substance, right? And then you did state jail in 2015 for fraudulent use and possession, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So could you tell the court, why is this time going to be different? You've had this opportunity on probation before, but that didn't work for you. So why do you think this time's going to be different?
Well, this time it will be different because I'm of age now and, I'm not in the streets as like I used to be. That's where I was at, that's where I caught home and, my mother didn't raise me in the streets, but I never had that father figure in my life to, I had to figure it out myself. And now that I'm of age, I'm 42, I'm only getting older, and I see a lot of old people just keep coming back and back, and I don't want to be one of those. I have to break this cycle. And so in order to break this cycle, I have to just do what's right. And if I do everything right with help, everything will come out right.
So you got arrested for this offense in March of 2023, right?
Yes, sir.
And stole a car, right?
I didn't steal.
Okay, but was it your car that you were driving?
No.
And when the police tried to pull you over, did you pull over right away?
Yes, sir.
And then once you got out of the car, you got out of the car and ran from them, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And how old were you when that happened?
What was that? It was last year.
Last year, okay. So did you go over this cap evaluation with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On page 7 here, this paragraph, I guess to me, it sounds like you're not really taking responsibility for your actions. Or you feel like you're taking responsibility for your actions?
I have to take responsibility for my actions.
No more questions, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions?
No further question.
Any further witnesses?
No further witness. Just talking.
All right. So, Mr. Pruitt,
So
what I can tell you is I read the PSI report and I understand what you're saying and I've internalized what you're saying. And I know that people get to a point in their life where they're just tired, right? Tired of going to prison, tired of this lifestyle. But the problem is you're habitual. Your criminal history is not good. And, because of that and because of other things that I've heard and that I've looked at in the stipulations in the PSI, I'm not going to grant your application. So I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community, the mental health community at the prison. I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to take in consideration 2023 CR 9387. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, so we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I understand that there are issues in everybody's life. Nobody has a perfect life. Everybody has some trauma in their life. But when you go forth in the world, you got to go forth and try to do the best that you can in life and try not to inflict trauma on other people. And sometimes that trauma is stealing somebody's property, right? When you take somebody's car, that's trauma on them, because guess what? They paid for that car. They probably struggled to pay the note, struggled to pay the insurance. And 9 times out of 10, when you finish paying off a vehicle, that's when you start having problems with it. But they work hard for that. That day when you were driving the Eagle helicopters coming out and you're racing, trying to avoid the police, guess what? Everybody that you passed probably had to clutch their heart because, oh my gosh, I almost got hit, right? That's trauma for them. The garbage truck that you ended up parking in between to Brian, the garbage people who are working, they just trying to get their day in, pick up the garbage and go on their day. They probably had trauma from that. And then when you hopped out of the passenger vehicle and took off running, I'm sure there were other people probably with their children just enjoying their day. Oh my gosh, something's going on. So everybody experiences trauma in their life. It's just the way that you handle it. And I know that my sending you to prison, that's trauma for you, right? Because you want to be with your family. But you're going to have to go to prison, continue what you did at the jail. At the prison, you can actually get a college degree. And guess what? It's free. And I will tell you, all the attorneys here, unless they got a full scholarship, their degree was not free. And some of them are still paying on their loans. And guess how much those loans are? The equivalent of a mortgage. So there are good things for you to look forward to. So when you go to the prison and come out, and remember that you are a habitual. So usually, depending on the offense, your minimum is 25 years in prison. All right. Good luck to you, okay?
All right, let's talk about that. Judge Glonek's sentencing of Gilbert Pruitt was a tough but balanced reminder that even heartfelt promises of change can't erase a long criminal record into court asking for probation, pointing to his age, 42 years old, his newfound role as a grandfather, and the certificates he'd earned while in jail. He testified about classes on trauma and resilience, his work as a trustee helping with maintenance in the jail, even murals he'd painted with inspirational quotes. He told the court he finally realized he needed help, both with substance use and mental health, and that he wanted to break the cycle before he ended up as one of the older inmates he saw coming back again and again. The defense leaned hard on that narrative of growth, highlighting his family's support. His sister and mother were in court, and his job prospects with his sister's remodeling business. Pruitt himself admitted he hadn't listened before, that he'd brushed off his mother's discipline, but said he was ready now to be responsible and set a better example. The prosecutor, though, pushed back hard, reminding the judge that Pruitt had already failed probation in the past. He'd been on supervision for aggravated assault against a public servant back in 2001, for firearm and drug charges in 2009, and for fraud in 2015. Each time, he either violated or ended up in prison. The prosecutor asked the obvious, why would this time be any different? Glonek's ruling struck a firm balance. She acknowledged Pruitt's sincerity and the reality that people do get tired of the revolving door. But she also emphasized his habitual history and the trauma his offenses had inflicted on others. She painted the picture. When you steal a car, you're not just taking property, you're inflicting stress and fear on the owner who worked hard to pay for it. When you flee police with helicopters overhead and weave past garbage trucks, you're scaring drivers, workers, and children just trying to go about their day. In her words, everybody experiences trauma in their life. It's just the way that you handle it. Instead of probation, she sentenced Pruitt to 5 years in prison, with credit for time served, but recommended placement in the prison's therapeutic and mental health community so he could build on the progress he'd made in jail. She even pointed out that unlike his attorneys, who were still paying student loans, he could get a college degree in prison for free. It was a mix of tough reality and cautious encouragement. Prison was unavoidable, but what he did with the time was still up to him. The overall atmosphere was sobering. Pruitt spoke with raw honesty. The prosecutor pressed the cold facts of his record, and Judge Glonek tied it all together with a ruling that acknowledged both the hope of rehabilitation and the weight of accountability. Time to break this one down. Judge Glonek respected Pruitt's efforts.